Someone is crazy in love, not loudly, not recklessly, but deeply, quietly, sincerely, because of what you did. You stayed when leaving would have been easier. You listened without fixing. You cared without conditions. Because you noticed details, the pauses between sentences, the feelings behind smiles. You didn't rush understanding. You allowed emotions space. You didn't demand perfection. You welcomed honesty gently because you were consistent, not intense for moments, but present across ordinary days. You showed up repeatedly, even when nothing was exciting, even when silence filled rooms. You didn't disappear then because you made safety normal, not a reward or favor, just a natural atmosphere. You spoke with calm respect, even during disagreements. You chose understanding over winning, peace over proving points, because you didn't minimize pain. You didn't say, it's nothing. You said, I'm here. You validated feelings softly, without judgment or pressure. You didn't compare wounds. You honored them individually, because you kept promises, small ones, quiet ones, the kind most people forget. You remembered important dates, but more importantly, moods. You sensed changes early and responded with care because you never manipulated. Affection wasn't used strategically. Silence wasn't a weapon. You communicated intentions clearly. You didn't play distance games. You didn't confuse attention. You stayed emotionally available because you respected boundaries. You never pushed vulnerability. You waited for readiness. You understood trust grows slowly. You didn't rush intimacy. You allowed comfort to build naturally, steadily, honestly. Someone is crazy in love because you chose patience. When impatience felt tempting, you slowed the moment. You gave reassurance freely, not after being asked repeatedly. You offered it proactively, knowing how much it matters. Someone is crazy in love because you saw effort and acknowledged it sincerely. You said thank you often. You noticed growth quietly. You celebrated progress gently. You made improvement feel safe, not scrutinized or pressured. Someone is crazy in love because you protected privacy. You didn't expose feelings publicly. You kept intimacy sacred. You didn't perform love for validation or attention. You lived it privately. Where it actually matters, someone is crazy in love because you didn't try to change personality. You appreciated essence. You encouraged individuality. You supported dreams freely. You didn't compete with growth. You celebrated it proudly. Someone is crazy in love because you stayed grounded during emotional moments. You became the calm. You didn't escalate conflicts. You de escalated tension. Your presence lowered anxiety. Your voice felt steady. Someone is crazy in love because you respected time. You didn't rush healing. You didn't pressure decisions. You trusted process and pace. You understood readiness matters. You valued long term peace over short term gratification. Someone is crazy in love because you chose loyalty without surveillance or control. Trust felt assumed, not tested. You didn't check constantly. You didn't demand proof. You believed consistency reveals truth. And you lived that belief. Someone is crazy in love because you allowed softness without making it feel weak. You protected vulnerability carefully. You didn't mock sensitivity. You didn't dismiss emotion. You held space respectfully, and that changed everything. Someone is crazy in love because you showed maturity, not through seriousness, but through emotional intelligence. You knew when to speak and when to simply listen. You didn't interrupt pain with premature solutions. Someone is crazy in love because you chose presence over distraction and ego. You were actually there. You made attention feel intentional, not divided or rushed. Moments felt valued because you were focused. Someone is crazy in love because you treated love as responsibility, not thrill, as care, not conquest. You understood hearts aren't toys. They remember how they're handled, and you handled one with rare gentleness. Someone is crazy in love because you stayed emotionally present, not half there, not distracted, but fully engaged and aware. You asked real questions, not to reply, but understand. You remembered the answers later and acted on them quietly. Someone is crazy in love because you never made love feel like a test or a performance to pass. You didn't create anxiety to feel important or desired. You created calm instead, and calm became addictive. Someone is crazy in love because you were predictable in the healthiest way. Care never felt uncertain. Your moods didn't punish, your silence didn't threaten, your affection didn't fluctuate based on control or fear. Someone is crazy in love because you apologize correctly, without excuses or defensiveness, just ownership and change. You didn't repeat the same hurt, you adjusted behavior sincerely. That kind of apology builds trust permanently. Someone is crazy in love because you protected feelings even when emotions were messy. You handled them gently. You didn't